Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a very special address coming on infrastructure revolution, and this is coming in from the perspective of national corridors boosting economic growth. Now, joining us this evening, we have with us someone who's been as a member of the Indian Administrative Service for more than 17 years, having worked in senior positions of executive leadership across sectors such as education as well as health. In fact, he also managed to execute welfare schemes in 3 states of India. We have with us none other than Rajat Kumar Saini, IAS, Chief Executive Officer, National Industrial Corridor Development Program. So if I could please humbly invite Mr. Rajat Kumar Saini to please come on stage, sir. And can we have a round of applause to also please welcome the very pioneering Rajat Kumar Saini. He has been working on a lot of important initiatives. It's only befitting that we gather his thoughts this evening.
I will take care of the time. Esteemed guests, speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, I have been tasked to speak on infrastructure revolution, India's G20 presidency and national corridors. So even without time limit, it would have been very difficult to link all these subjects and capture their essence in a single passage. So Delhi Declaration is done, a very successful G20 presidency of India is coming to a close. The theme itself, that is one world, one family, one future, it is almost similar to theme of this summit. I'm sure many other speakers would have covered the various aspects related to multilateralism, sustainability, sustainable financing. I'll limit myself to the announcement of India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. The leaders of all these countries, India, Saudi Arabia, UAE, US, France, Germany, Italy, EU, they have announced a memorandum of understanding and outlined a plan to create an India, Middle East, European Economic Corridor. It would, to quote, stimulate economic development through enhanced connectivity and economic integration between Asia, Europe and the Middle East. This corridor is expected to usher in a new era of connectivity with rail linked through ports connecting Europe, Middle East and Asia. It seeks to boost trade, clean energy and economic growth and kind of provides an alternative to Belt and Road Initiative of China. So by comprising of railway lines, it has the potential to make trade between India and Europe 40% faster. It also includes an electricity cable grid, a clean hydrogen pipeline to foster clean energy trade. It also includes a high-speed data cable that will link innovative digital ecosystems which are present in these areas worldwide and create business opportunities. It is divided into 2 segments, Eastern Corridor which connects India and Gulf and Northern Corridor connecting Gulf, Arabian Gulf to Europe. So our national interest is that it will create a crucial role for India in global commerce, digital communication and energy networks. It provides something like a true multimodal connectivity as it involves road, rail, sea routes and also digital pathways. It also mentions something called sustainable finance. Many times we keep reading about Belt and Road Initiative that it's very exploitative. The terms between the 2 countries are not on an equal footing. In this particular case, we have involved multilateral institutions to ensure that all the financing is done on sustainable terms. So all this sounds very good, sometimes like a dream-like situation. Some people may be skeptical about it. How will this come into shape? How will it finally be implemented? Some people may criticize that it may remain like a declaration. This is where the corporation, the organization that I represent, National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation, comes in. This is based upon the grand vision of Honorable PM, of our government. It utilizes the principle of PM Gati Shakti, and we are tasked to build greenfield industrial cities in India's 11 identified corridors. And these corridors are crisscrossing all across the nation. It started with Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, then Amritsar-Kolkata, Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Hyderabad, Nagpur, Delhi, Nagpur, Eastern Economic Corridor. So government gave an approval somewhere in 2020 that all these corridors are there. So is my job to build these roads or build these expressways? No. My job is to see that all these expressways, all these freight corridors, all these highways, rail lines, everything exists. My job is to utilize this infrastructure revolution that is happening and leverage all this existing infrastructure to build greenfield industrial cities. This infrastructure provides the connectivity, it minimizes the logistic costs, which finally enhances ease of doing business and lowers the cost of doing business. It connects the manufacturing hubs to our ports for exports, and these are something like this is like a next logical step. Once you have all these expressways, all these corridors, then what will you do? You have to leverage the economic opportunity that has been created by them. And these cities, if I can say, are the most advanced at the global level industrial cities that are being built in India. These provide plug and play, not just plug and play, but also walk to work concept. So that's why I am using the word cities again and again. It's not like a normal park where somebody will come from outside, from the nearby town, and just industries would be there. These cities will be industrial cities which will have a residential component, commercial, institutional, everything. We take care that the initial gestation period is very less, the initial capex is very less, the opex is very less. All the utilities are provided at the plot level where any investor can come and build their plant. They are truly single window in the sense that all approvals are given at one particular place and nobody needs to go to any other authority. So again, this is something like a whole of government approach operating at a very, very micro level, at a very, very local level, that you don't need to go from one office to another office. So this is the kind of vision that has been, a situation that has been envisioned and it has been implemented. Now, where are these cities? You might have heard about Dhulera in Gujarat, Aurangabad, Auric city in Maharashtra, or Vikram Udyogpuri in Ujjain. All these have been developed under this program. And I will also take a minute to highlight how ambitious this program is. Generally in independent India, the new cities that have been built from scratch, maybe we can count 5-6 cities would be there. Gandhinagar, Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Noida, Naya Raipur, maybe 2-3 more. In this program, government aims to build more than 20 cities, more than 20 greenfield cities, which are apart from financial principles that they are minimizing logistic cost, the cost of doing business will be less, the OPEX, CAPEX, the gestation period. They are also built in a manner which blends very well into the sustainable motive that government has. So various national and multinational companies have already set up their plants over there. All these, the cities that are built, already around 60-70% occupancy is there. 4 are totally built, 4 more we are building, as in they are under construction. Around 10-15 are under various stages of planning and development. So now closing the loop in India Middle East Economic Corridor, that is IMEC. This is the kind of development potential we are talking about, and this is the kind of development India as G20 president has envisioned, that these corridors can also be something like this. It is not a promise which is just made on paper, but it is the promise where we have seen it like a work in progression for last 1 decade in India. As Honorable PM says, Bharat has the potential to become Vishwaguru and show way to rest of the world. Our G20 presidency, our Delhi declaration, the announcement of this IMEC corridor, these are some of the examples of this. I am sure that both the industrial corridors in India as well as this India Middle East Europe corridor, it will create infrastructure that realizes, and it will definitely realize the potential of these areas. It shows 3-4 minutes remaining. I light my address over here. If there are any questions, I would be happy to take. Otherwise, thank you so much. Over there.
Just a second, we'll pass you the mic.
My name is Rakesh Singhal. I am chartered accountant by profession. My question is that day by day we are planning to increase our corridors. At the roadside, a lot of expressways are coming. I asked this question to Mr. Gadkari also, that our land area, even the fertile land is getting used for these corridors. Won't it create a problem in future?
Well, everybody will have his or her opinion. If we just look at peer countries, whatever data I have seen, the countries that you consider India's peer in terms of stage of development, non-agricultural land is somewhere around 14%. In India, non-agricultural land which is being used for these purposes is around 8%. So if we go by that particular yardstick, then we are still below global average. That is one way to answer that question. Another question is the kind of thinking that is happening in summits like this. Various think tanks are working, various policy makers are working at how to bring a balance in these two competing interests. Definitely roads have to be built, definitely industrial, because manufacturing has to be done. Apart from services sector, manufacturing sector also has an important role. We are somewhere around maybe 16-17%, and we aim to reach somewhere around 25% of GDP in manufacturing. So these are also essential things. So if we are talking about food security, will that food security be only from the roadside land, or can it be done by developing our wastelands? Can it be done by increasing our productivity of the existing land that we have? For many crops, we might be below the global average in terms of yield. So maybe we have additional scope over there for as far as agriculture sector is concerned. For industries, there are many other constraints, many other things that come into play. Building the roads, you can't develop, you can't build a industry somewhere because they are very location has to be optimal. So maybe a kind of balance has to be brought, and I think the policy makers are bringing that balance. Thank you. So, I see no other hands. Thank you so much.